Impact Wrestling. I'm alive. I think that's the reason why I paused there, because I'm still sick. I'm not 100% better, but I am better enough that I can do a review. So what do we get with this Impact? We got a good show. I'm going to say this. There was a couple of technical problems at the end of the show with the audio when it comes to Josh and Don Callis. I always pronounce the guy's name wrong. But next to the audio problems and still some camera work that's still not 100% good, because the camera work was better. It wasn't perfectly good, because you never get it 100% great. But it was much better than they normally do. But they still had issues. This was a good show. So, the first thing we had was a match. And it really had no story behind it. But it didn't really matter in this situation, because it was a really good match. You got Willie Mack versus Moose. Now, they have faced each other once or twice before. Either in a tag team or singly. I don't really remember if they faced each other singles. But I'm sure they have faced each other in a tag team. I'm not sure. It's been a while. But when you saw this match, I think this was the second best match of the night for me personally. Just was. It was the second best match of the night. It was Smash Mouth. Excuse me. Told you I'm still sick. Cough is just annoying. But it was Smash Mouth to the max. This was the second most roughest match of the night. It was really good. In the end, I didn't expect Moose to lose here. But here... How can I explain this? When you see that Moose wins here, you wonder where they're going to go with Moose. He's already dealt with Shamrock, who is still on the roster, it seems to be. He's working in the roster. Now, we'll get with him with Joey Ryan and the Dangerous Man versus the Dangerous Man's hand, if you're going to put it like that. It was a good match, but then you wonder where they're going to go with Moose. Because unless they're going to finally push him into the main title scene, which I don't see that happening, particularly what happened at the end of the show, he's floating again. Unless they're going to stick him with another former TNA/Impact Wrestling star from the past, I don't see anything going here unless they're going to start calling him the Legend Killer and killing legends, like bring back Amazing Red and have him job for him. But you know Amazing Red can't wrestle anymore. I think he's been injured a bit. Or I don't think he's injured. I think he just decided to do an early retirement because he wanted to focus on taking care of people, or he's actually injured. I don't remember. You guys can tell me below. But honestly, if you're going to keep doing this, you're going to have to bring back more older stars that used to be in Impact and need to be destroyed by Moose. That would be the equivalent of a WWE Legend Killer and a Randy Orton. That's the best option I could see with Moose. If they're not going to put him in the main title, they got to put him against older, well-established legend talent. That's just me. You tell me below. Alright, Michael Elgin versus Fallah Bahh. Now, I'm going to be honest here. This was a repeat match. And honestly, I didn't want to see it. Yes, it had a bit of a story because TJ Perkins got his ass handed to him and was sent to the hospital by Michael Elgin. I'm just like, why didn't Fallah Bahh have an in-ring promo saying, Elgin, come out here, you hurt my best friend? As I said before, have something more than just having Fallah Bahh just get into a match. He really need to have an in-ring promo. He really need to say, hey, Elgin, come out here, you hurt my best friend. My brother from the Philippines, my family, come out here and I want to kick your ass. That's what I think would have helped the feud at least a little bit more, because honestly speaking, and I'm being honest here, as it stands right now, Elgin's floating. He's doing filler matches. He's not doing anything. And as much as these matches are really good, because this was the best match of the night for me personally, Michael Elgin going against Fallah Bahh. Yes, Fallah Bahh. He's the comic relief. But the guy can wrestle. And this was the best match for me personally. I could have said Moose and Willie Mack, but this was a much more better match. Because you have Fallah Bahh, who doesn't fly around like a Willie Mack. He is more to the ground. And he has to try and compensate by trying to use character to get himself over, and the crowd was cheering their asses off for this match. They were. They were cheering like crazy for Fallah Bahh. They loved this match, and that really helped. And I got to say that the crowd there in that arena in Canada, I can't remember the name of the Canada arena right now, I'm sorry. It was good. It wasn't like it was loud. Let's be honest. They weren't very loud. But it did help. So in the end, Michael Elgin did win by submission. That did happen. Did Moose win by submission? No. Elgin won by submission. There was 2 submissions on the show. And Elgin won by submission. But then what happens to Elgin now? Nothing. He tapped out Fallah Bahh, which means what? Where did it go with Fallah Bahh now? Where did it go with Elgin now? I don't know. I'm hoping they'll do something more. Even if they have to keep Elgin working with Fallah Bahh must have in-ring promos or bring back TJ Perkins to talk for him. And then we'll have something a little bit more substantial. Shamrock. You know what? Wait. I want to say this first. I like the North. I do. Now, Marufuji had a match with Ethan Page and won. But you wonder where they're going to go with it. Here it is. That's what I was wondering last week. And like I said, I was sick last week. And I was not being gentle to Impact Wrestling. Now, I'm sure a lot of people say, you should have been more gentle to them. That was their first match. And their first matches and their first, how can I say this? Their first show on Axe TV. You could have been more gentle. No. Even though I was sick, there's no point in being more gentle if they hadn't changed their product enough to go to Axe. So they still need work. I'm sorry. Impact needs work. So when I saw that match, I'm wondering, why didn't they sponsor Marufuji more? Why haven't they done anything with Marufuji? If you remember, I'm beginning to run. Look, I said Marufuji should be sponsored more. He should have had promos more. Have an interpreter for him. Something. Particularly now that Marufuji has been given a opportunity, because Page and Alexander are going to face him next week. He gets his own partner. And if they win the titles, because now they're putting up a... I think this time I'm botching is because it pisses me off that Marufuji gets nothing. I've seen older Impact episodes where Marufuji was working with Moose when they had the Impact Grand Championship. And even further back in that, when they were doing these specials working with Pro Wrestling Noah, and they barely promoted their people, no matter if they were Japanese or Spanish or even a few American or Europeans. They barely promoted them. Instead of giving something to, for Pro Wrestling Noah to sink their teeth into in America, they did nothing. Now, I don't know if Marufuji is working for Impact permanently or not. He might be. Or this is just something short-worked or short-lived. But I wish to give him more than this. I hope that if he has a Japanese partner, they have a friggin' interpreter for him. They give him some time to talk. I don't care if he's in Japanese. Do what they did for Pentagon Jr. Put text on the bottom. Let him talk. Give me something, please, Impact. I want to love this. I want to see Japanese wrestlers get respect. But just like in AEW, they're not letting the Japanese wrestlers talk. They're not doing what they did on Impact when it came to Spanish wrestlers. You had, guess what? Where I'm putting my hand, subtitles so people can understand what's being stated. You never heard of interpreters? Anyway. We now go to Shamrock and we go to Joey Ryan. The dangerous man with the dangerous manhood, as they were calling it. And Josh Matthews, I gotta say this about commentary before I get to this match. When it comes to Josh, when it came to Don, it was not great commentary. But, I want to make this clear. Was the commentary blow by blow in the ring done properly? Not 100%. You never do it 100%. And I'm understanding of that. Now, a lot of people say that Josh Matthews is annoying, he's boring. And when it comes to Don, he could be a little overbearing. Yes, for both. But in this situation, these two were very playful on the mic. And guess what? I like that. Compared what they do in WWE. They were highly playful with each other. Yes, they still did the color commentary. I want to put it like this. The ring, it's hard to really want to say that I enjoyed their commentary. I'm being honest here because I've never really liked their commentary 100%. I feel like Josh Matthews should be switched out for somebody else. I would love to Pope D'Angelo De Niro come back and work with Don. But you got Josh working with Don. And this time around, I enjoyed it because they were playing with each other. They were joking around. At one point, Josh said, is he going to touch it? He said, are you a freak or something? What are you doing? And it went from that point that Don said he studied the dick of Joey Ryan. And pretty much, when it came down to it, Josh said, I'm not touching that. He just started to laugh. Legitimately laugh his ass off. It wasn't a fake laughter like they did on WWE. This was legitimate laughter that he just cracked up laughing. And that made this a lot more fun for this match. Because let's be honest, Joey Ryan is still an active competitor in the ring. Then you got Shamrock, who doesn't usually wrestle anymore. It's very rare for him to wrestle, particularly as he's 55. No, not 55, 53 years old, I believe. I think it's 53 or 55. Either one or the other. He's over his 50s. You can see he's a bit stiff walking around. So he's not like super flexible. He isn't. You can see he's well built. He's ripped to hell. Man, I wish I had 1/10 of his abs. I got no abs. I'm just chubby because I can't exercise with my injury. You see, it's hard for me to breathe. I can't move around the way I want, so I can't exercise the way I want, so I can't get the abs the way I want. There you go. Great and ripped, but he's stiff. You can see the guy is a stiff guy in the ring. Now, it doesn't mean he can't work the ring, but Joey had to really work hard in this match to make this mean something. Now, I'm not going to go blow by blow. That's just not my style, but I will tell you this. It was an enjoyable match. And once the D was grabbed, as you can see it in my hand. Not my hand, in my face here. I'm shaking. Oh, I hope I don't make myself not cover my face when I start laughing this time around because it'll be embarrassing. But anyway, he grabs the D. He gets flipped. He gets pissed. He beats the crap out of Joey Ryan and then he puts the ankle lock on and ends it. Okay. Now the question is going to be, where did it go with Joey Ryan? Where did it go with Shamrock? I'm hoping to do something with one of them or both of them. We need this. The Debsy Hit Squad. I know I'm skipping around because Taya would have been next, but I'll get to that in a minute. Debsy Hit Squad has some type of new guy there because Shera went away. Went to supposedly meditate and refocus himself because he didn't win the last match, the Call Your Shot match. Because Eddie did. And I will be getting to Eddie. That's the last thing I will be talking about. You know it. But you got another guy. I guess he's a new Singh. I don't remember. But what is it? Batani Singh? I can't remember. He went up against Petey Williams. And pretty much Gama said, if this guy beats him and continue, well, he said if he proves himself, one of you is gone. So, Raj and, well, I wouldn't mind seeing one of the guys go, to be honest. Raj or Raju. Let's be honest. Raj could go off on his own and start wrestling by himself in Impact if they just break him away. Or Raju, because I want to see something different for them. So when this guy went up against Petey, I was kind of hoping he would get beat, Petey Williams, and that Raj would break the guys up and give us something new. No. Petey pretty much destroys the guy. He wins. No problem. And this was the most interesting thing. I'm not forgetting it. If you saw the match, you saw you had a ref with no legs. Now, I don't know who the ref is. It looks like he's a current or former wrestler. It was good to see. Not because they're giving a chance to someone disabled or someone for diversity. No. If the guy or girl can wrestle and work a match and make it look good, I don't care if you have one arm, one leg, both legs gone. I don't care. As long as you can make it interesting. That's the truth. This is what true diversity is. Who cares about your injury? Who cares about anything? If you can work the ring, get the people at home interested, and the people in the arena interested, you got something. And by the end of that match, when it was all over, that Singh wannabe basically gets mad at the ref, and the ref hits him in the shin. You get the Canadian Destroyer on him, and then the ref does not only a 619, he also basically does a 450 splash. Now, I couldn't catch that image, unfortunately. I'll see if I can get it on the website from YouTube, because I couldn't catch it. It was at a bad angle. So there was just no way I was going to get it. So, there you go. I enjoyed it. It wasn't a bad match. And seeing this ref do what he did was cool. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to transition from being a ref to being an in-ring competitor. I don't know if Impact's going to do that. Yeah, if they do, it'll probably be limited. But who knows? Now, you got Taya versus Madison Rayne. They had a little bit of moments in the back with... I don't want to see Taya dealing with Hogan and dealing with Madison Rayne. I want to see something more. And that's what I was thinking before she ran into Jordynne Grace. And Jordynne Grace, wearing a nice top, and she's in my face, and no disrespect to any ladies, she was excited a little bit because one of her nipples was showing. It's in my face still. I'm just saying, you get Taya versus Madison Rayne, which I wasn't very interested in the match, even though it was okay, and there was some women, well not women, little girls maybe, were cheering for Madison, which is understandable. That Madison's not that unlikable. She's not a great face. And she's not a 100% bad heel. She's just not great. Let's be honest. She's a good heel at good days. She's a better heel. Well, she's a good face sometimes. And she's a better heel. That's the truth. So somebody wanted to cheer for her. In the end, you got Taya still winning. It was non-title. It didn't really matter. But here was the thing that was a little funny. They brought a little fake dog to the ring. It reached the point with Madison, she couldn't stand the fake dog anymore. She grabbed it from Bravo, threw it into the ring. Well, no, she took it into the ring. She looked at it and then threw it to the crowd. And that was the reason she lost, which was silly. But it was a distraction that was needed. And then when they left the ring, and I'm talking about Taya and the the stunt dummy in a Jonna Bravo, Jordynne Grace comes down, scares Taya. You got Johnny Bravo getting whacked in the face, and then he's getting dropped on his head. Like I said, he's a crash test dummy. That's what he is. That's what he's only going to be. He ain't going to be nothing more, nothing less. But it wasn't too bad to watch. At least they are progressing something with Taya. But I'm going to be honest here with Taya Valkyrie. I do love Taya Valkyrie. I'm going to say this when it comes down to you got John Morrison. The man is a lucky son of a bitch. He's married to, from I've heard, an extremely sweet, nice woman to know. And a Taya Valkyrie. She's sweet. She's nice. She's built like a brick chicken house. Who wouldn't want her? But as much as I do love her, I want her to drop that strap. She needs to drop the strap. I'm sorry, she needs to. And here goes the next thing. Rosemary and Susie. Rosemary's asking her, what's going on? Do you actually know about my bunny? How can you not know about the bunny? What about the undead realm? You know nothing? She said, hi, I'm Susie. I'm enjoying this situation with Su Yung. Particularly when she went past a Havoc staring at her and said, do I know you? You look familiar. No. Walks away. I don't know how far to go in with this with Sue. I want to see them go so far with Sue. Making her extremely sweet, nice, gentle. Until she gets into the ring and she gets whacked in the face once. I want her to end up like Abyss. If you guys remember with Joseph, excuse me, remember with Joseph Park, when he saw blood for the first time. A switch went off in his head, and then the abyss appears. That's what I want for Susie. She goes in the ring for the first time. She's nice, she's sweet, she's gentle, she wants to be nice, she gets thrown around, does nothing until she's hurt. And she sees maybe her own blood. She has a blood bag in her mouth. I don't care. She bleeds from her mouth. She checks her lip, and then she has that switch go off in her head, and then she destroys whoever's in the ring with her. That is what I want from Sue. I want Sue to be incredibly sweet outside the ring. So sweet it makes your teeth rot. Do some story arc with her. That she's at a park with children, being nice to them, being sweet. She's giving them candy. She's not acting weird. But then when she goes in the ring and either the bell rings or she sees blood, a switch goes off in her head and the true Su Yung comes out. And she destroys until the ring, either she destroys her opponent in the ring or the ring bell goes off and ends. You know who that reminds me of? Luke Gallows when he was Festus. When the ring bell went off, he was a nut. When the ring bell stopped, it was over. That is what I want for Su Yung. Let's move on. Let's see. Am I forgetting anything? No. Okay, OVE. I got 2 things left. If I'm forgetting anything, I'm sorry. OVE segment. Throughout the night, OVE was traveling around, pissing off Gava, pretty much pissing off a couple of people, but they're just partying. Sammy is so happy, and I kind of wish, and as I said this last week, I still believe, and I know people are not agreeing with me. I know they're saying, dude, it had to happen here because this is the first show of Axe. I'm sorry, I cannot agree with you. I can't. As easy as you could say that this should be done on Axe, wouldn't it be better for your patrons, for the people who paid for the pay-per-view, not just at the arena, but the thousands of people at home, to see the culmination of a Sami Callihan winning that title at the pay-per-view, instead of doing what the WWE always does, do it in the ring on a regular show. I'm sorry. It cannot be like that. It is wrong. Even when you move to a new network, look what happened with the WWE doing it on SmackDown. It wasn't the fact that Kofi Kingston jobbed for Brock Lesnar on SmackDown on their first night at Fox. No, it was everything else. It was The Rock. It was Ric Flair. It was everybody else. And then seeing Kofi Kingston get his ass handed to him pissed everybody off. This is where the WWE acts. And that's what we kind of did for Tuesday last week. Now, I'm not saying it was done out of taste. I'm not. It was a great match. And it made Sami look great. But it should have happened at the pay-per-view. You cannot say that the signature pay-per-view of the year is the right place for Sami. Instead of doing it on Axe. You could have done something better on Axe. You could have set up the next #1 contender on Axe. That is what should have happened. And as much as people are going to say you're wrong, explain to me how I'm wrong. When they just did what the WWE did. Tell me in the comments how I'm wrong. Because there's no way you're right. And I'm not bashing you. I'm telling you the truth. It should have happened because throughout the years, Sami has been treated like dirt. And he should have been given that signature moment. And he did not get it. Now, was the segment in the ring good? Yes, I enjoyed that. Was what Tommy said once Tommy came out and was talking about how Sami was disrespecting the people in the back, the people in the ring, that you're a bully, that you're a troll, it wasn't bad. Seeing that Sami's calling Tommy the fat man, Fat Dreamer, or Mr. Fat Dreamer, I'm sorry, I want to show my respect. Who do you think you are? If you don't like it, get your ass in the ring and deal with me. So we get Daga, Tessa, and Rick Swann. And I was surprised. When the match happened, it was an extreme match, no rules, that means it was a basic street fight. You get Rich Swann getting the pin instead of Tessa. So he is the one in line for a possible title shot, not Tessa. So it makes me wonder, are they still going down the line with Tessa going after Jake Chris and getting the X Division title? Because there's nothing more she can do. And I'm being honest here. What else can Tessa do? I don't see nothing left. She either goes back to the Knockouts or she gets the X Division title, because if Rich is going after the world title, which actually would be a good thing, I would like to see Rich as a world champion and title holder, because it will be interesting. One who loves another like family, because that's what you got with a Sami Callihan and a Rick Swann. Two guys who know each other so much, they truly love each other like family, even though they're divided most of the time. Finally, the destruction of Ace Austin. I know I don't have to do this because it wasn't an incredible segment. I'm not going to lie. But it has to be done because they've done this. They culminated this here because it makes me worried. Now, finally, we get Alyssa finding out that Ace Austin has been using her. He wants to get the puh, as a friend of mine always says. Well, my friend is Dashy Games, and if you hear him talking about getting the puh with the dill, I'm sorry, I got to do it like that. I've been watching too much Mario Maker, but that's just a show he does. But let's be honest here. We've been waiting for her to actually see it. I've been saying for months, doesn't she watch the show? It made no sense. So here, finally, she finds out, and she decides to set him up. She gives him a card for a hotel room. He goes to the hotel room. She opens the door to the hotel room. He goes in. He is ready to start kissing this woman. She says, "Wait. I don't want to wait anymore. Get undressed." I'll get undressed. And he asks, "You want me to wear the title?" He says, "I want you to wear that and this blindfold." And he gets undressed, as you see in my face, lays in the bed, and someone rubs a hand on his face. And he says, "Oh, your hand's so soft." But he wonders if something wrong. He looks up, and it's Eddie staring at him, kicks his ass a little bit, gets Kenny from under the bed, and instead of Eddie hitting him with the candlestick, it is Alyssa that hits him with the candlestick, beats his ass, puts her foot in his crotch on his dill, and instead of letting her have the full whack, Eddie holds her back. Ace runs away, and then you see those two making out in the hallway of the hotel. And Eddie's saying, "Where's Kenny?" Grabs Kenny. You could see the image of them kissing on the floor in front of my face. This was, I'm going to be honest here. I have no interest in this. Oh my gosh, it's almost 30 minutes. Look, I'm going to be honest here. Was this a good segment? It's better than WWE. As I said before, I've had no interest in this, but this was better than WWE, 100%. No thrills, no choice, nothing. Seeing a Rusev deal with Bobby Lashley and Lana with no explanation at all that made any damn sense, when she pretty much says the only thing Rusev wants is sex with me. Only sex. But then you go to Bobby Lashley who wants to fuck your brains out. I'm sorry for the cursing, but you get my point. It made no sense. The WWE failed in trying to make a storyline with an angle like that. But when you look at Impact Wrestling, you may not 100% like the storyline, but let's be honest, it is way more effectively produced, set up, and accomplished. And then it makes me think, there's got to be one reason why they're keeping Eddie with this. That means he's going after the X Division title, possibly. That's what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. Now, I know I said Jake Chris earlier about getting the title, because I think what might happen is this. Eddie is going to win the X Division title next year, or by the end of this year. Then Jake Chris is going to face Eddie, and then he's going to regain that belt. And then in 2020, you're going to see Tessa Blanchard win the title herself. Because as it stands right now, Tessa, she's in my face, has nothing left to accomplish. She's beaten OVE so many times. With help, yes. There's no more point in her continuing dealing with OVE. She needs to move on to somebody else. And they're not going to let her. OVE is her strongest feud, so they must set this up properly. You're going to probably have Eddie try to get the title. Now, if he doesn't win it, you're going to see Jake Crist regain it. It's going to happen. And then you're going to see Tessa win it. Either next year or at the end of the year, you're going to see Tessa challenge for the X Division title, which I believe Can't Be Killed. I believe that's their next pay-per-view. In January 12th, I believe. Can't Be Killed, I believe that's what they call it. I believe she's going to face Jake Crist there. That would be the best option. But this is just me. Tell me below. Have a good day. And this thing's almost 30 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. Peace.